deep within the nightmare of the old hunters, where the tide of a dark, oily ocean laps against a shore made of white bone and calcified coral, lies the most tragic and terrifying secret of the healing church. The Orphan of Kos is not merely a boss encounter. It is the physical manifestation of the original sin that birthed the world of Bloodborne. To understand this creature, we must look past its screaming, frantic movements and gaze into the history of the hamlet where it all began. Long before the events of the game, a great one named Kos washed up on the shores of a small fishing village. We do not know for certain how she died, but her carcass was teeming with parasites and the eldritch essence of the cosmos. When the early scholars of Biogenworth, led by Master Willem and a younger Jayaman, heard rumors of this celestial corpse, they did not come as students of science. They came as butchers. The scholars fell upon the village with a cruelty that would define the church for centuries. They vivisected the villagers, boring into their skulls to search for the eyes of inner vision, and they desecrated the corpse of Kos herself. It was here that they found the orphan still in the womb of its dead mother, a child of a great one that had never known the warmth of life. The hunters didn't just study the child, they harvested it. The soul of the orphan was dragged into a realm of eternal penance, a nightmare created by the dying curse of the village and the wrath of the Great One. This is the hunter's nightmare. Every hunter who has ever tasted blood is eventually drawn here, doomed to hunt in an endless loop of madness, all because of what was done to that child on that beach so many years ago. When you finally step onto that white shore at the end of the nightmare, you see the orphan for the first time. It is a haunting, gaunt figure, pale as moonlight and draped in a translucent, placental cloak. Though it is a newborn, its face is that of a withered old man, mirroring the face of Jayaman, the first hunter. This is a deliberate and chilling detail, because Jayaman was likely the one who physically pulled the child from its mother. The orphan's consciousness has modeled its own form after its tormentor. It is a baby born with the sorrow of an elder, wielding a massive, serrated blade of hardened placenta that it swings with a frantic, animalistic desperation. The cries it emits are not the roars of a monster, but the high-pitched, soul-shredding screams of a terrified infant. It fights not to conquer, but to protect the silence of its mother's remains. The mechanical design of the fight is a masterpiece of storytelling through gameplay. In its first phase, the orphan is erratic but somewhat predictable, lunging with heavy, sweeping strikes. But as its health drops and its rage peaks, it enters a second phase that represents the true, unfathomable power of a Great One. It grows wings of pure energy and begins to call down lightning from the sky, lightning that originates from the corpse of its mother, Kos. This is the only moment in the game where we see a direct, physical intervention from a Great One's body after death. The orphan isn't just fighting you, it is channeling the collective grief of the ocean itself. Every explosion of energy and every lightning strike is a rhythmic pulse of a nightmare that refuses to end. The difficulty of the fight is legendary. but it serves a narrative purpose. You are facing the concentrated guilt of the entire hunter lineage. You are fighting the very reason the nightmare exists. Once you defeat the orphan, the battle is not truly over. Its physical form dissolves, but its true essence, a small, dark shadow, remains hovering over the corpse of its mother. You must strike this shadow to finally lay the spirit to rest. When you do, a voice whispers through the mist, "Sweet child of Kos, return to the ocean." A bottomless curse, a bottomless sea, accepting of all that there is and can be. This is the moment the nightmare finally breaks. By putting the orphan to rest, you have fulfilled the duty of a true hunter, not by slaying a beast for blood, but by providing mercy to a soul that never asked to be born. The sky clears, and the black sun of the nightmare begins to fade. You have cauterized the wound that Biogenworth opened, even if the scars on the waking world will never truly heal. The tragedy of the orphan is that it is a great one that was denied its divinity. In the lore of Bloodborne, every great one loses its child and yearns for a surrogate. Kos is the only instance we see of the opposite, a child who lost its mother and was forced into a surrogate existence of pure pain. It is the ultimate victim of human curiosity and greed. The healing church was built on the blood of the old gods, but the foundation of that church was the broken body of a newborn on a cold, gray beach. When we talk about the blood in Bloodborne, we are ultimately talking about the stolen life force of this child. The orphan is the mirror held up to the players, showing us that the glory of the hunt is nothing more than a cycle of murder and desecration. It is the most honest boss in the game because it doesn't hide its pain. It screams it at you until the very end. As the mist settles on the coast of the nightmare, the orphan finally finds the peace it was denied in the womb. The ocean, once a place of horror and parasites, becomes a cradle again. The secret of the church is out, the curse of the hunters is lifted, and the cycle of the nightmare is stilled. But the lesson remains. Some secrets are better left at the bottom of the sea, and the price of forbidden knowledge is often paid by those who are the most innocent. The Orphan of Kos stands as a monument to the cost of transcendence, a silent, screaming reminder that for every eye gained by the scholars, a heart was broken on the shore of the old world. You leave the beach a different hunter, knowing now that the monsters we fear are often just the children of the crimes we've committed.